Incline dumbbell presses are another mass and strength exercise for the upper pectorals. As with the incline barbell presses, you'll need to do the movement with somewhat less weight than you would on a flat bench. And controlling and balancing the weight requires total concentration. As with flat dumbbell presses, don't press the weight too straight up and down with a lot of triceps effort. Make sure the dumbbells move in a slight arc to help take the arms out of the exercise and make the pectorals do as much of the work as possible.
The basic isolation exercise for chest is going to be a fly type of movement. Now, a fly type movement is going to bring the arm across the body in an arc. Basically, it's going to be working with one joint. The shoulder joint is going to be rotating. It's important on fly type movements to keep the arms slightly bent and locked in position. And basically, the arm is going to be moving at an arc, allowing for a stretch, and the contraction point is going to be bringing the weight up to the top and squeezing the pectoral muscle. A common mistake that a lot of bodybuilders make when they're doing flying type exercises is trying to go too heavy. Now, flies for the most part are generally an isolation exercise and not really a mass building exercise. In fact, I've seen a lot of world champion bodybuilders go into the gym and just use like a 25 or 30-pound dumbbell and really isolate the muscle and learn how to feel the muscle effectively. One of the things that can happen when you do a fly too heavy is that you can strain or tear a pec insertion or a bicep muscle. So you want to be really careful to isolate the muscle and really learn how to feel it.
The best way to describe a pectoral fly movement is as a big hug. You hold the weight overhead, palms facing inward. You bend your arms slightly, and then try to keep your elbows at about this same angle throughout the exercise. You don't want a lot of bending and straightening of the arms, which involves triceps effort. Instead, you want to lower the weights in a wide arc, feeling the chest muscles stretch, and then bring them up in the same arc, squeezing the pecs together as if you're giving somebody a big bear hug. As with dumbbell presses, you can do dumbbell flies on a flat, an incline, or decline bench, depending on whether you want to focus your training on the middle, upper, or lower area of the pectorals. Remember, flies are an isolation exercise, not one designed primarily for building strength and mass. So keep your weights moderate and develop the intensity you need by very strict technique. Full range of motion, focus and concentration, keeping the mind in the muscle, and training to momentary muscular failure in each set.
When you're doing chest flies off the bench, make sure you don't go beyond that 180-degree angle. Don't go down even further, because what you begin to do is tear and stretch the tissue in the muscle joint at the pec deck area. This can contribute to creating stretch marks on your body, as well as damaging that joint ligament system.
Many people ask me, is there a difference between the way I train and between a man's training? And I say, yeah, of course. Very few men I know can bench press 315 pounds.
After rowing exercises, cable crossovers are probably the movement most often done incorrectly in the gym. Bodybuilders frequently make the mistake of bending and straightening their arms during the movement, which takes away from the isolation of the pectorals. They also bring the arms down too much toward their sides, which allows the lats to come into play. Instead, when you do crossovers, you want to feel the chest stretch and contract just as it does with the dumbbell flies. So you need to develop the same hugging movement with your shoulders shrugging all the way back, then coming together in the front to create maximum chest contraction. You work the upper, lower, or middle of the chest with this exercise, depending on how far you bend forward and at what angle you bring your hands together. You can choose the angle that suits you best. But be sure not to drop your elbows too far down toward your sides, so that your lats become involved in this exercise. So isolate the pecs as much as possible and keep muscles like the lats and triceps out of this exercise. The pec deck allows you to perform a kind of machine flying movement. When you train your chest using a pec deck, you're able to work with very strict isolation as well as through a very long range of motion. So this is a great exercise for achieving the maximum of muscular detail and definition. Therefore, to get the most from this machine, you should use a pec deck primarily for lower stress, lighter weight, and higher rep training. Instead of heavy resistance, concentrate on strict technique. Stretch as far back as you can without discomfort. Then bring your arms together and squeeze the pecs at the top of the movement to achieve a maximum peak contraction. Not using too much weight is very important. Adding too many plates to the stack when you train on a pec deck simply puts too much stress on the shoulder joint and the muscles involved and really doesn't give you any added benefit in return. Chest routine number 1. Barbell bench press. 4 sets of 10 reps. Incline dumbbell press. 4 sets of 10 reps. Flat or incline dumbbell flies. 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps.